Um, I have two things that we can watch with dinner. It's just the two of us here. We communicate. Some people say, "Oh, at dinner, should put devices away and talk to each other." We talk to each other plenty, and it's how we kind of, you know, relax, and it's how we share in the time together. Kind of, you know, um, yeah. So, um, and I guess there could be an answer a little bit in that. So I'm just doing a couple little things in the kitchen. Otherwise, it's just heating stuff up tonight. But there could be an answer in that. Although avoidance isn't sometimes the best answer and doesn't always, work forever. Um, um, Avoidance slash distraction. It certainly is a strategy that can help. Um, and so I need to make sure that G's doing other stuff because I don't know if I mean I've done, you know, recently, and I guess you could kind of say today, some fairly decent content, but you know, I do live with myself, believe it or not, and you know, sometimes when I'm, whether it's just to the dog, or to G, or to clip somebody, or talking to myself, or on here, it's like I get a lot of me, and to people that don't live with me, they may be able to handle a pretty high dosage, but not that I don't like myself, but and the reason why I would do that though is because G is often at work. However, some good news, although I know that I have many people that love me on this channel. Um, G in the GNC is going to be home all this week. Has one, maybe two appointments, but is home all this week, and should be able to kind of join in on some of the podcasts. That usually it's just me home by myself a lot of the time, and so that's why I do them. One of the reasons why I do them, and um, but as you may have heard, I'm not going to say a lot on it, but he did have his sister recently pass away, and there was a book that came in at work about cancer and healthcare or something like that, and he ended up telling a coworker, and got some support, from his coworkers, and was pretty much told, you take the week off. And as much as like being at work and being distracted can be a good thing, you can also be extra sensitive when emotions are raw. You can also, it's okay to feel. However, you may, sometimes we feel like maybe we're having too many hard feelings to feel, or that we don't want to feel, and it kind of gets us perhaps more stuck in it. Like my friend Ray, I was very surprised that her sister wasn't off of work longer than it sounded like she was. But you know what? At the same time, it'll be nice to have him around, and I'm sure, like I say, on YouTube, you'll enjoy it as well. I don't know what we'll plan on podcasting. Bison Dennis. Monkey? What does that supposed to mean? And hello. I see an ironic, I see an animal in your name too. I mean, and what is that? What is that emoji? Oh, it is a monkey. But why do you? I mean, we're all primates and humans. I mean, they're saying it looks like one. We're saying, I mean, they're a lot hairier. I mean, I am hairy, but they're a lot hairier. Anywho, or are you saying get them a monkey? Haven't you always wanted a monkey? If I had $1,000,000. Sorry. No, I'm curious what you mean by that. But and we ain't getting no monkey, I'll tell you that much. No monkeying around, okay? I mean, oh, then why are you saying it? I'm very confused. Although I used to call my mother that. I know that sounds weird, but I don't know why I did it, but I did. Um, but you know why you did it. But no, our dog wouldn't like it. They'd be a mess, and they are a wild animal, and they've not been domesticated. You don't know. Okay, well anyway, back on topic then, because like I say, I don't have a lot of time. Curious if you've ever seen the channel before, how you came across this video. If you haven't, if you have, you probably got notified. Um, but yeah, and it's interesting though. I was singing a song by the Monkees earlier today. Kind of funny. Um, but yeah, so I just wanted to come, and I feel like I asked this in a video not super long ago, but at the time I asked it, I don't think there was really many people around um, to hear me ask it or that answered it. So I'm still wondering. Um, basically, yeah, whether it's grief, mental health issues, um, when you're the closest person to someone, like when you live with them, okay, and you're the closest person to someone who is grieving someone who passed away, for all the various reasons. Like I did say, and he says it's of little comfort, but thank you, it helps. Like that she's in a better place, that she's free of her health struggles. I am lucky to and blessed to have an ability to, but and knows that. But and that she wouldn't have wanted us to have hassle, and understands that we didn't make it there. I'm sure that there's some feelings of, I should have called more. I should have tried to go and see her in her province more. Um, you know, um, and let me just get my socks for a moment. Monkey needs his socks. Just kidding. I was also thinking of the Tarzan song recently too. And actually, I once watched Tarzan, the Brandon Fraser one, ironically, because of the great coincidences and that, and Marie coincidences that have been popping up at someone's place called Marie on VHS as a child. um, and maybe that's. I just want to touch on triggers for a moment, which aren't always bad, but as far as like triggers that the mind experiences, again, learning to heal from them is important, but it does take time sometimes. But and some triggers honestly can be good and bad. Like kind of the one I just mentioned, like that was a lovely time in my life, and it's a good memory, but it's attached to the fact that the person I think of, well, she might be dying soon too, but she's in another province, and she hasn't been great at keeping in touch, and it's not because she doesn't like us. And I think that she's a phone person too, but she's got her family close by there. I don't even know if she has that many close friends. We knew her as a neighbor back then, and then we stayed in touch, like she cares about us. But yeah, basically, and I spent holidays with them. G was just saying that one of his co-workers, they were using scrap wood in cooking fires or whatever, or just in general, and apparently, you got to be careful what you use in fires, because the sister and her husband ended up getting cancer and passing away. And when they knew that she was dying, they actually celebrated Christmas early. And he said that was really sad. And I said it is, but it also was kind of special that they got to do that. But anywho, and if this had happened 2 or 3 weeks prior, well, it wouldn't. Well, maybe he would have. Maybe he still can join me at this, but I don't know. I don't know what to expect, and it's not just about people that have passed away. I've learned that in the group, as I have been to the grief group. I mean, part of me, but then you have to be with my mother a lot more, because she'd probably be bringing me too. So, and even I'm iffy about that. But yeah, but I could take what I learn, as I always do with a lot of things, and you know, share it with others and put it on here. So, but yeah, that is something. Um, and I really I can't go much longer. And it looks like Poison Dennis may have left, but either way, um, I really love your input. I really would appreciate it because I mean I know we can only do our best as far as supporting others, and I would like to also remind you that you don't have to be somebody who works in counseling or psychology and this and that. You just have to be another person living the human experience, which we all are, and doing your best, just doing your best as well. And I know that's what I'll do, you know. And I am semi-surprised to find that I'm doing this video, but I feel like when he was given this week off, it's true that it kind of um, made it feel more real, what happened, and it's only been a few days, but prior, again, we're in a different province, and also 2 or 3 days after, he was really holding it together. I mean, obviously, one would be sad going through those kind of things. So I think I was a little bit surprised, but kind of not. Like, I guess he was numb, But I thought, as much as I want to allow him to go through the feelings, it's kind of like, um, it's that, weight of heaviness, sadness that then kind of envelopes around you, right? And what do you know? I personally kind of spend a lot of time in my feelings and in my head, and I'm also at a different place in my healing journey. I think it's not that he hasn't lost lots of loved ones, relatives or otherwise, but and I have too. Like I say, I'm so thankful. I did. But yeah, it's hard because I mean, he's going to be feeling the sadness. It's not very nice out either, so you can't go out there afterwards. He's going to be feeling the sadness. It's only 6:13. My goodness gracious! Well, I did get home early, but then I thought we were distracted long enough. You know, and I'm going to notice this sometimes. Even sometimes and again, we can't judge this because any of us that go through losing someone important to us would be like this, and that's okay. But like even sometimes I mean, I thought I heard it when I was upstairs briefly, but maybe I didn't. Behind closed doors, and crying. Um, I am going to hear that sometimes, or not behind closed doors, and again, I want to allow it to be, and I want to be there, and you can give hugs, you can try and give words of comfort. And some people, I saw a post online recently that somebody else had made in a group. Some people say sometimes you don't even have to say anything. It's true, but I think, not to sound selfish, but I think really then, I already kind of know how to support him. And I mean, it's still a couple of weeks before that series of workshops that I'm going to be taking. And if I don't get answers, I'll just find them myself. But just to kind of finish what I'm expressing here, and then I do gotta go. But for now, but basically, yeah. What I think I'm more looking for is, like I say, how do you support somebody who's going through that hard stuff when you're also going through the hard stuff yourself? Like, I could be so numb to these kind of things, and I am sometimes, but I also still feel the deep pains, that come with the feelings too, mine and other people's. And so it's like, yeah, when that sadness is around, it just, it makes me, it can make others sad, you know, for the same things, and then also sometimes trigger sadness about other things or people um, that 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 have gone before, or certain life circumstances that and because honestly, I do believe that the majority of depression, and this is kind of just like a title pattern, the majority of depression is because of um, certain situations or lack of certain opportunity. Well, certain opportunities that maybe you get once or twice and then you struggle to ever get again, or that you never get. Like it's hard to accept that, and it's also hard to accept it um, when you struggle more than you should with that kind of thing, or for a long period of time. It just seems like that's kind of the theme, and I'm very self-aware, and people have told me that, and I could say, is there something I'm doing? But I mean, some things totally have not been my fault at all. Some things maybe a little bit, but and so um, when you don't have sometimes the reins completely, um, things don't always work out. I know that he's going to try and be strong, especially when around me. I know that he knows that it makes me sad. So that is something. That is something. But yeah, I mean, and try to, when we're around each other, I guess, focus on happy stuff. As far as like the loss, I mean, he's been saying it. They had 10 to 15 years age difference. They've been in a different province. You know, she had already well moved out when he was quite young. It's hard to think. It's interesting to think back that far. Um, but it's still hard, in some ways. But yeah, and I didn't really know her that well. Um, again, that thing I sometimes say, angels, they feel our feelings with us, and even though they understand our sadness, they'd really rather us be feeling happy, good things, because they would feel that along with us too. When I heard the angels tell me that, um, it was very powerful. Anyway, I can't stay much longer, so for this one, so keep it short. But I do welcome your comments. Thank you. Take care. Oh, I will just say though, first that welcome to the two people that just tuned in. Curious if you've ever been to this channel before, how you came across it, and welcome, like I say, and you left. Or at least it looks like you have. But I'm going to say that one of those may not have been accurate, and just really quickly say something I sometimes say, especially when I'm wrapping up some people and people come in. Yeah, because sometimes it'll be like there's one person watching, and then they disappear, and then I say, "Oh, you left," and they're like, "I didn't leave. I'm here." So it's not always accurate, but basically. Yeah, feel free to check out the other videos on the channel, the other live streams. I try to at least mostly stick by the titles that I give them, but I sometimes, if it takes a while for things to kind of get moving and grooving, or the chat to kind of happen, which doesn't always show afterwards, but even if I said it too, or whatever it is, it... or just in general, I do sometimes, and sometimes I'll come back around to it too, but, so you gotta watch the whole thing. You don't do it all at once, but, and you don't do it in general, but I wouldn't mind if you did. But yeah, so I try and at least focus somewhat on the title, but, there could be a little bit of everything. And then, for the most part, anyway, I'm, if you're not familiar with the channel, know that I'm a free-spirited type of person. In the things that I come up, I sometimes lack a filter. Whether that's a good thing or not, who knows? But so just please, give me forgiveness, or just look past the things that you don't like. There's always something to like, to resonate with, to perhaps want to talk on, or music simply to enjoy that I post. So yeah, whether you've seen the channel or not, that's a little bit about it. And I welcome you to check out, like I say, the other live streams. If you ever have song requests, you can feel free to put them. Topic requests. I try to do at least one, sometimes two or three a day. And yeah, so don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification button, and come here as often as you can, and join in on the conversation. And it's lovely. So I appreciate you. I know we have someone that tuned. I haven't been rolling super long, but that's been here. It says at the top, was here for 2 or 3 minutes. It almost did seem like but I think I'm always going to do that, because it's just a way of being hospitable, hospitality, or a good host of the podcast, kind, welcoming. I don't really think it's a bad thing. Some people may not like it. I'd be curious to know why some people don't, but you can't please everybody, and people should either look past it if they don't like it, or find a way to like it. And if they can't do either of those, this probably isn't the channel isn't for them. Although, like I say, that I think there's a little of a lot of things, so I think most people would enjoy it, or something sometimes. Everybody loves something sometimes. I know I slightly altered those words, but yeah. So, but tonight I don't have a lot of time, and that one's dancing a little bit at the top there. I don't know if it's the same person or not each time, but so I'm going to wrap this up. But yeah, I appreciate the likes, the comments, the subscribes, and yeah, I hope everybody's doing well. Had a good Monday, if it was Monday, whenever you see this. I hope you're having a good week and a good day, and we'll talk again soon. And like I say, if you ever have any suggestions for things you'd like me to do podcasts about, or songs you'd like me to do, just let me know in the comments. And if you have any suggestions around this topic that I spoke about today, again, I would sure appreciate them. Okay. And hopefully it doesn't help just me either, Okay. Bye for now.